Right. Okay. Is there something a bit more personal than this? Right. Okay. Okay. So just I've got a record of who we've got. So you're. Yeah.
I'll start this correctly. This is a recording of interview with Glebe Lane on Friday, 14th of March at 6 now 9 minutes past day. Okay, you happy with me recording this?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Yeah. So you're obviously Officer Wayne, yes. Officer Wayne Page, and your officer. First name? Sam. Is that? Samantha Finish. And Officer Samantha Finish. Please to meet you. Right. Okay. So the problem now, if we want to go right to the top. Now, this Operation ZLOTI, I believe, is what the operation's been nicknamed. This high-profile operation that was organised by between Kent Police, Wilson and Row, and Orbis Protect. I know that there was a meeting at 4 o'clock in the morning with all three parties, Kent Police, Orbis, and Wilson and Row. Can you explain to me how and why it is that the police or Constabulary are getting involved in a civil matter, having this meeting at 4 o'clock in the morning before you come to my home?
Well, I've spoken to the services about this. I've had no involvement in this, but we are there to prevent the breach of peace and deal with any criminal matters. Anything to do with the eviction itself, you come to the courts or the bailiffs, but we're there to deal with any criminal and prevent anything further happening. Okay,
that's fair enough. What I need answers to why then is because on the 24th of July 2024, I was contacted by Officer Dave Bodie, who from Margate Police Station, who was instructed to contact me to arrange a meeting with me with Officer McLennan, who's a district commander from Maidstone. We had a fair bit of communication via email and by phone for nearly 3 months, and then it was said to me, stated that, and this was a meeting pending any future return of any bailiffs to my address. Now, some 3 months later, I was contacted to say that they didn't want to have the meeting with me anymore because they wasn't in communication with the bailiffs. There was no need for the meeting. Then all of a sudden now, Kent Police, Constabulary, and all parties have had this meeting. Prior to, obviously, that wasn't the first meeting that you've had. This is a planned operation. It's a high profile, whatever reason I've been classed as a high profile individual person, whatever, to have 80 odd security there, 40 to 50 police, silver commanders, bronze commanders, to come round to assist. I've got no history of violence whatsoever, and for an allegation of criminal damage, which was put down as an indictable offence to justify the police's attendance, which has now been proven to be a summary only offence, which is statute barred, because you've got 6 months to report the crime. A £50 padlock that was gone round the gate on a property where there was displaced residential occupiers, and I'm fully protected under the law to assist in the removal of the padlock to get them back into their property. For the Kent Constabulary to rely upon that allegation that wasn't reported until December, you've 6 months statute barred. It's criminal damage to which is less than £5,000, £50 padlock, which was allegedly damaged in March, reported in December, and then 10 months later you come round. When I say you, I mean the Constabulary as a whole, and witness Wilson and Row via the Lockfather to use violence to secure entry by means of a petrol cut to cut my metal gate off, and then use a battering ram to go through my double glazed bifold door, all under the supervision of the Kent Constabulary, which is a criminal offence under the Criminal Law Act 1977, Section 6(1). Which is the Criminal Law Act, Subject to the following provisions of this section, any person who without lawful authority uses, threatens violence for the purpose of securing entry into a premises for himself or any other person is guilty of an offence, provided that there is someone present on the premises at the time who is opposed to the entry and which the violence is intended to secure. It's not just that, it's also the Protection from Eviction Act, it's also the Criminal Law Act Section 12. I'm protected as one of the King's subjects under law, full stop. So when you've got Wilson and Rowe and Orbis Protect turning up with Kent Constabulary without a warrant of possession as prescribed by the Mortgagee Repossessions Act 2010, Section 2, Notice of Execution. This section applies where the mortgagee under a mortgage of land consists of or includes a dwelling house has obtained an order for possession of the mortgage property. The order may be executed only if the mortgagee gives notice of the property of any prescribed steps taken for the purpose of executing the order. So only if, that's the key word, only means only. Now if we go to the regulations of the Act, Section 2, the prescribed step referred to in Section 22A of the Act is the mortgagee making an application to the court for a warrant of possession of the property. What they've turned up is a High Court writ. High Court writs are used for commercial premises. High Court writs, you can use violence to secure entry. They're used for commercial, squatters, trespassers. This is a mortgagee against a mortgagor application without a warrant of possession. Wilson and Rowe, Orbis Protect, had no legal lawful right to step over my threshold because they never had the prescribed paperwork to actually be there. Kent Constabulary had no right to be there because the arrest for the criminal damage with statute bar was out of time. Every person that stepped over my threshold on my land on the 17th of January are all trespassers. And the criminal offences have all been committed by all parties that were there, all 130 of you.
So,
now,
the High Court writ has been given, okay, we are there to prevent the breach of peace.
You can't...
I'm not going to get involved with second guessing the courts, second guessing the process. That is not what I'm doing, okay? If you've got a complaint around the bailiffs and the courts, you have to take that to the courts. There's nothing I can do with that. Okay.
But the police were assisting, aiding and abetting. You had a meeting with them at 4 o'clock in the morning. Your job is to serve and protect one of the King's subjects. Your job is to make sure that all of their documentation, all their paperwork, is all in order. You can't just because they flash a High Court writ, you can't just accept that on face value. That's all right. Your legal department, your legal services, considering this is such a high-profile operation, this needed to be escalated to make sure that you've crossed the T's and dotted the I's. The police have failed in that. You've failed in your duty, your exercise to protect me by making sure that all of their documentation and paperwork is all in order. Now, that in itself, now if we want to, that's if we want to go to that length. Now, if we want to go back before that, because we need to go back to the beginning, because if we need to go back to the start, this has happened halfway through. Now, the biggest main issue that we've got is, not well, I say we, I haven't, because I am literally, I'm in pole position here with this, and everyone is going to be taken down, and everyone's incorporated, because there's a bankruptcy, as you probably are aware of. There was a bankruptcy order made in June 2015 by trustees in bankruptcy for Tobe Haydenley, which was then passed over to trustees in bankruptcy. In 2018, Tobe Haydenley was removed as being the proprietor of the 39 Glebe Lane, and it was handed over to the legal and beneficial title was for Edward Thomas and Anne Nielsen. TLT, the solicitors for the bank, have been colluded and conspired with the trustees in bankruptcy because they want to try and steal my home. The trustees in bankruptcy have then signed a disclaimer. They've disclaimed 39 Glebe Lane. So now, 39 Glebe Lane, the land registry, the title, is now an empty shell. They've disclaimed it. Now once they've disclaimed it, that gets vested back to the Crown Estates. So as soon as they've disclaimed the property, Bank of Scotland's charge over the title is gone. All they've actually got, it's like me selling you a car and only giving you the logbook. I haven't got the car, but I'll sell you the logbook. It's got no substance. That's what's happened when the property was disclaimed. As soon as that property was disclaimed, it goes to the Crown Estates, to a sheep, which is obviously our sovereign, the King, which holds it he holds it for Christ, which is held by God. And I'm one of the King's subjects, so I'm a tenant on the land. So the only person that could actually to remove me, I've been there 49 years. The only person, I've got the highest title and right to be on that land from November 2021. As soon as they disclaimed the property, it was deemed subject to a cheat. Bank of Scotland have not got no right. They can't go and put an application for a possession in against something that doesn't exist because they made Tobe Hayden Lee the named defendant. They got a possession order against Tobe Hayden Lee. Tobe Hayden Lee is bankrupt. I've got no rights or standing. I cannot give possession to someone I've got no legal right or entitlement to. So the possession order, the application is fraudulent, I've put in. The possession order is null and void because I was not the necessary and proper named defendant in the proceedings. The necessary and proper named person in the possession proceedings should have been the trustees in bankruptcy because their name is registered on the land registry, even though Tobe Hayden Lee is registered, Tobe Hayden Lee's name is still on the land registry, still now as we speak. The necessary and proper named defendant for the Bank of Scotland should have been the trustees in bankruptcy, but the trustees in bankruptcy disclaimed it, therefore it should have been the Crown Estates. So the Bank of Scotland have filed a fraudulent claim in the civil court, managed to get this proceeding rubber stamp when it's completely void from the start.
Again, that is within the court. That is not that I have to count influence. That is that you need to go back to the court.
But this is the crime that's been committed that the police have facilitated aiding and abetting, which is in breach of Section 26 of the Courts Criminal Justice Act 2015, because the police have used their powers improperly for the benefit of a detriment to someone else, i.e. the bank and the security.
We are there to prevent a breach of peace. That is all.
You was there to arrest me to get me out of the house so they could take the property.
And deal with any criminal matters.
Right.
Okay? Regards to the criminal damage, and I get what you're saying, I can't deal with that.
What criminal damage?
The one that you were dealt with, the arrested one.
Right, okay.
The one that you're saying.
The one that statute barred us out of time, yeah.
Yeah? I can't deal with that because that is still going through the courts, yeah? Once that's been through the court process, we'll have to look at that, but I've got to wait for that process, that investigation to finish. So that takes... But
this is the whole reason why you was present and involved and orchestrated the meeting with the bailiffs and the security at 4 o'clock in the morning. That was your involvement, was to come in and arrest me. Listen, this is over a £50 chain and padlock. I've been in constant communication with the police since June, since the bailiffs was going to attend back in July. I've been in constant communication with you. That allegation, the claim wasn't made until December. Now, you're telling me, 9 months later, if I find out someone's broken my shed, then you'd send 40 police round to come round to come and arrest someone who I've got evidence of breaking in my shed. You wouldn't do it.
I can't discuss that because it's a court process. We need to let that run its course. Okay? If you're saying, yeah, it's actually barred, then the court's going to end that, aren't they?
Yeah,
okay?
but to see definitely. Yeah.
Because anything I do is going to be, influence.
But my complaint is why did the police not do their due diligence? Yeah. Why have they plucked this allegation of discharge out of the sky to then come and collude jointly with the bailiffs at 6 o'clock in the morning to come to arrest me for a £50 chain and padlock? Why didn't you contact me for a voluntary interview? It's not as if I'm trying to evade anyone. You know where I live. You know where I am. You've got all my contact details. So why at that point in December you say, look, Toby, we've had a complaint here. Can you come down to the station or whatever about your thing? And I would come down. Don't you look at it from? Listen, I'm not just saying it from my point of view. I know exactly what's going on here. But what I'm talking about is the general public that have got no involvement in any of this. What they're coming back and what all the feedback they're coming back and saying to me and what's gone on. Everyone can see it. It's blatantly obvious. The collusion and the conspiracy. Bear in mind, it was a blooming nationwide man-hunt for me for conspiracy to cause a nuisance on NHS premises with every single newspaper article in the whole world for conspiracy. You're telling me that the police, the security and the bailiffs haven't conspired to come and remove me out of the house to then get me out of the way so they can then come and take my home.
Let me look into that around the DII and that, why you weren't invited in, okay? I'll look into part
Yeah.
of that, but I can't comment on the actual investigation itself because of the court case, alright?
Right, okay, so what can you look into is the criminal charges where police and the bailiffs have trespassed on my property and used violence to secure entry, which is a criminal offence, under supervision of the police, and remove me, and I'm protected under the Protection from Eviction Act, from the Criminal Law Act, everything you've been sent.
That is part of the complaint that I have been sent through, and part of the questions you've asked, alright? So I will look into that essay, okay?
You had no right, the police had no right to be there, the bailiffs had no right to be there because they didn't have the correct paperwork. What is Kent Constabulary going to do about the fact that every person that is on my property, even now, from the 17th, the one that went on now, are all trespassers. I've asked them to leave more than one occasion, and they failed to leave, so they're committing ongoing criminal actions by...
I will look into that. I've started gathering, I've started speaking to officers involved. Okay, so we'll look into that and come back to you with an answer. Who is in charge of that operation?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I correct in saying it was the operation name is ZLOTI, ZLOTI? Yeah. Right. Okay. So who's in charge of that operation?
You already spoke to him. McLennan was the one that was.
So McLennan is one that So he's the one that set up, organised the operation. Now, what's the CAD number for that operation, or the reference number? I want the reference number for that operation, and I want all the details of when that operation was formulated.
Well, I will look into it, and I will give you what I can, okay?
Yeah.
The other question is...
Listen, I might be a bit... I'm not aggressive, I'm raising my voice, it's just out of sheer frustration and annoyance. Yeah, and it's out of annoyance more than anything, because I cannot honestly believe that Kent Constabulary, who swore their oath for attestation pre-2002 is to protect and serve His Majesty's subjects. And that's it. You're supposed to be working for me. I'm doing everything by the letter of the law. There's no free man of land, none of all that, what you class in as free man of land or whatever it is. I am doing everything by the letter of the law. I've been studying law for quite a few years. I'm not going to be doing anything that's going to step out of line, that's going to give anyone the opportunity to arrest me for no reason. Just like Tuesday when I was arrested, which is just compounding the fraud and the crimes that Kent Constabulary are committing against me.
I mean, I haven't got the details of what happened on Tuesday, but...
Well, it's absolute farce.
Okay.
But that's another story.
I've listened to those points, alright? The other point you raised was car keys, please.
Why I've contacted police since I've come out on the 17th of January. I've been down to the police station, I've spoken to sergeants and constables here, I've given all my details, I've been asking, I've been phoning, I've been emailing. I was told that when the Maidstone removals went in, they was told what to take and what not to take, and he told me, Kent Police have taken a load of stuff out of your house, so you need to contact them. I've been asking for an itinerary, an inventory of what the police have taken out my home.
Yeah, so I'll give that to you when I've moved.
Excellent.
Right?
Okay, brilliant.
Car keys, we've not taken the car keys.
I gave the car keys for my Mercedes to the constable that was arresting me, Phillips I believe it was. Phillips had them because then the security that was there said that they needed the keys to move the car off the drive. But the last person that I had custody and control of my car key was Phillips. So I don't care what happens thereafter. He is the constable officer that had possession of my property. What he's done with it, that's his responsibility, and it's...
That was a Mercedes, yeah?
A Mercedes CLC, yeah.
Right,
It don't matter.
into that then, okay?
He had the keys. Whether he gave it to them to help him move it or what, I don't know. I was carted off, and...
You said that people are not returning your calls or contacts?
No.
Who have you tried to contact?
I've been trying to phone, all the ones that are in charge. Phillips, Barclay, I've been sending emails. I've been sending email. I think it was up to about 9th or 10th emails to send back. I was getting the auto-respond, I'm out of blah-de-blah. No one's responded. There was an email group with all the constables that was involved. There was the interviewing officer, the arresting officer, and Barclay. There was 3 of them.
I think you CC'd me through some emails with the loads of people anyway.
There was a string of email, and that's come from the email address Tedsky25 at iCloud. That's where a group of the emails was coming from, because obviously Where's my phone? The investigation's finished. Where's...
So the investigation, the Kemple's investigation finished, but because it's still going to court, I spoke to the officer about the stuff that we've got, and they require that still for the court case.
I wasn't asked questions about the phone in interview.
All I can say is they evidently require that for the court case. So this is a list of stuff that we've got. Okay.
Can you turn it round just so I can have a look? Just so I can...
I mean, I'll give you...
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Right, okay. Where's all my paperwork? Right, the Kent Constabulary got a duty to protect all of my files. I've got 14 years worth of paperwork, which is protected under the Data Protection Act, because obviously a lot of stuff is private and confidential. There's all the court files. I'm currently still in proceedings, which I've initiated in the Chancery Court and King's Bench. All that paperwork was all inside my property.
These are the only items that Kent Police are removed from the property.
Right, okay, but you've got a duty coming in there to protect my personal private data, so where...
We can only take stuff that relates to the investigation that we felt correct.
But if someone's in there, they're going to touch my property, you've got... Right, but you've got a duty to make sure that all that's... I've got an inventory, the removal place has said that they haven't removed anything. So, see, this is the problem, see. There's no warrant, no one had any right to go into my property, yet, especially after using violence to secure entry, but there's all my private and personal information. My nan and granddad's wedding rings, pocket watches, sentimental stuff, all photos, all gone. And this is going to be the problem. Maidstone removals have said they haven't got any of my files. So when I get there, so I know, everyone's going to blame each other, so well, we never picked it up, because there's so many people inside the property, and nobody's documented everything. Everything's been taken, my worldly possessions have been taken, and they've been distributed. I caught security guys carrying my personal belongings out the house. They're standing on the drive with an umbrella. What's the police done about it? Nothing. I got assaulted by one of the security guys, reported to the police, said nothing we could do about it. I go down to my property, which I'm still registered at, which I've got the highest authority to be on that land, and yet now the Kent Constabulary are then giving me a ticket telling me I've got to go 48 hours. Disperse them notice.
Where were you assaulted, bro?
Outside the property. I've reported it. I haven't got the crime reference number. There'll be a report to it. I've sent the video evidence of the bloke coming over and grabbed mine. If I walked up to you and you're standing there and I grabbed your arm, I'll be nicked for assault.
With regards to the property, I will look at the body worn footage, the officers there.
No, they weren't there. I sent the video in.
No, not the time of the assault.
Right. Yeah.
Taken. But this is what I've been told by the officers dealing. These are the only items that we've removed.
Right.
The bailiffs and recovery agency are the ones that have taken
everything else.
Because we've got no need to have anything.
Right.
We've got no need to take anything.
There's still some of my property still in the garage. Right. There's bags in the back garden that looks like it's got paperwork. It looks like it's got files and paperwork in it. But they've just thrown over there. And it's still in the back garden.
Can you get
and my clothes. Yeah, can we get something to... you look at... They've put the house up for auction. The bank have got no right to do all of this. But that aside, it's up on Savills. You look at the pictures. There's my trainers, my boots, my clothes. And my property that is on the pictures on the thing for sale. Loads of my property is still at the property, which I can't get access to.
Yeah, but you're not going to get it all.
I personally would respectfully ask to be coming down there, accompanying the police, or the police accompanying me to go down there and go and check and double check and go and retrieve my belongings. That's my personal property. It's been left there. The bank's allegedly sold it once and sold it twice. What they've done is, even if everything was above board and it was supposed to be done right, then the bank have got a duty and responsibility to put it to auction and get the maximum market value for the property to offset any loans that's been against the property. I'm still paying the mortgage on that place. I'm still paying the mortgage on that property. So they've got a duty, but they haven't, because I put the pressure on the auction house to say you're selling stolen property and give them all the law and what they've done. Auction house pulled out, and then what the bank have done, they've sold it under the table to a private one, knowing it's a hot property. They're handing stolen goods, and now that person is now putting it through an auction at Savills to pass it on. I've already got applications in with the land registry. I've been speaking to the land registry about the fraud, that they can't transfer the title over to anyone else. Whoever's buying it, They're not going to be able to get it registered. It's the only person that had a right to sell that property would be the Crown Estate, and they'd have to apply for a new title. Because that title, K299592, whatever it is an empty shell. It's a logbook. There's no substance to it. This is a major crime, what's going on here. And I've got the evidence. It's the Crown Estate. The chairman of the Crown Estate, the chairperson, is Robin Budenberg. He's also the chairperson of Lloyd's.
That needs to go through court. There's nothing I can do with that element.
What can you do? Investigate the crime. What can you investigate the crime where Wilson and Rowe have used violence to secure entry to steal my home without the correct paperwork?
That is on my list, and I will look through that and see what we've got there. Okay. I will look at the what's happened with car keys.
Yeah.
And also what's happened with property.
Yeah.
Okay. And see what we can do to get you the property, help you get your property back.
Yeah.
At the very least.
What I'd respectfully ask is that you accompany me to go back to the property. Obviously, I'll prefer you because we've had a meeting and yourself, and it only be me on my own. I'm not looking for like having hundreds of thousands of people or anything like that. Like it seems to be. Mate, I made a flippant comment to fucking Barclay when I come down here, and I said, look, I need your assistance. I'll meet you at my property at 4:30. I want you to remove them. I said, I don't take the law into my own hands to get 2,000 people down there. And all of a sudden, it's like code red. Toby's going to put a call out. There's going to be 2,000 people down there. He never answered the call, never responded to me. And then half a Kent police force have been based and stationed at my house at the weekend. And waiting, I've been running. It's been a joke. The local community, you can understand, I've lived down the road for 49 years. That was my grandparents' house. I've got pictures, well, whether they're still there or not, me being bathed in a washing up bowl on the lawn by my grandparents. Been there since my birth. Do you know what I mean? It's like that is my home. Where's all them photos gone? All the sentiments. I've got my granddad's blooming coffee cup, my late father's cat, all of the sentiment stuff I'm never going to be able to replace. My nan's fucking baking bowl, which was my great grandmother's. It's just all of my they had no right to go in there. Right, yeah.
And all this paperwork as well.
Yeah, what I can, property-wise, if I can help you, I will. Okay, alright. Is there anything else on the road?
Listen, the main thing that needs to be, the main thing that the police need to investigate is the legality, the legal and lawful, the fact that Kent police have been, right, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and hope that McLennan is just being duped by Wilson and Rowe and by Orbis, and he's been duped into believing that they had the authority to come and do what they want. So then Kent Constabulary have supported him, and they haven't done the due diligence with checking that what they're saying, whether it's right or not. So I'm going to give Kent Constabulary the benefit of the doubt that they've been duped by this, and it isn't as conspired and colluded as what a percentage of me thinks it is. So on that basis, that's what needs to be looked into, because this has been going on for years. This isn't an isolated case. Bailiffs have been coming with these high court writs of documentation without the power to do so, because they need enforcement can only be done by warrant of possession. For a mortgagor or mortgagee, it can only be done peacefully. You can't use violence to secure entry. And this has been going, just because it's been common practice doesn't mean say it's legal or lawful. But the problem that everyone's got is, they haven't come up against anyone like me before that is like a dog with a bone that goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb and is speaking up about it. I know the law, I know my rights, I'm a simple man. It's either black or it's white, it's on or it's off, it's in or it's out, it's right or it's wrong, that's it. There's no grey areas for me. And I haven't gone into this half-heartedly thinking, oh, I'll try and get away with it. I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm saying. And I speak with conviction because I've studied and studied and studied, and I know what my rights are, and I know what the laws that are being broken, and they need to be addressed. And fundamentally, is that they shouldn't have been on my property. I should have had the assistance from the constabulary. As soon as I've made you aware of the crime that's been committed, they had no legal or lawful authority to be on my property because they did not possess and do not possess a warrant of possession. And that's the only way that they can come for possession of a property. And that is what needs to be looked into. That's the fraud. That's a deception. And like I say, I'm going to give Kent Constabulary the benefit of the doubt that they've been duped. They've been tricked into believing that they have the authority to come and do what they want, and that's why the Constabulary went and backed them up. But that is fundamental that needs to be looked into. I'm going to deal with all the other stuff that needs to go to do with the Crown Estates and stuff like that. It's all going to be I'm working overtime on that. And what's transpired, which I've just found out today, is that the Crown Estates had a duty to notify Kent Constabulary that I'm a tenant in that property. Back then, so I'm a tenant with protections. I'm one of the King subjects, and I am a displaced residential occupier protected by law. Period. That's it. And I need the protection, and I expect to get the protection because the police haven't exactly got a good name, and you're not doing yourselves any favour. When I say you, I don't mean you personally, but this could be a real big turning point for the Kent Constabulary to do the right thing. To do the right thing and step up, say, oh, James, yeah, we got it wrong. And let's just draw a line in the sand and just put things right. It's not a lot to ask for.
Let me look into it and I'll come back to you, alright?
Right.
I'll drop you an email to get updated.
Right.
It's not going to be a quick, easy thing to look into, but
No.
I'll do as quick as I can. Whilst it's right.
That last email that's just been sent over to you, that kind of consolidates and that was what I'm talking about, the Crown Estates, about me being a tenant, and you need to recognise that, and I need to be put back into my property, and that with immediate effect, because I'm a displaced residential occupier, and I need to be put back at my home.
Let me have a look at it, alright?
Yeah. And you see, I appreciate there's a lot of this stuff, you're not expected to know every aspect of the law. You know, you've got your jobs and you're trying to look into different areas. So this needs to escalate. And if McLennan has obviously got this operation, there should be some the people in the legal department that should be go to like that. Say, look, hold on a minute. Can you give me your opinion on this? I need legal opinion on that.
I'll speak to them anyway. And obviously before I do anything else,
I respectfully would like to the direct contact details of the legal department that's dealing with this, because rather than going through a middleman, I think it's going to be easier for me to liaise and speak directly with the legal department, and we can have the discussion rather than going through 2-3 other people. Let's just get this done sooner rather than later, because every day is a the damages claim which I'm building every minute, every hour, every day is just growing. That this isn't dealt with.
Let me speak to them, alright? Okay? I'll come back to you as soon as I can.
Right.
If you need anything in the meantime, just email me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll update you as soon as I can. Let me give you this. I'll grab the phone counter and give you this. So you've got this,
Right.
alright?
Okay.
Are you going to be on leave anytime soon?
Who's only just come on duty?
No, not Brady.
No.
Right, while we're here, can you go and when we come out of custody yesterday, can you go and get my custody report, please? I forgot to ask the custody sergeant.
I can't just do that. Okay, you'd have to put in a information.
No, I don't know. It's supposed to be given to me when I leave custody.
No, not the custody log.
It is. No, you can't be discriminated against because you're self-representing. Every time I go to a police station, state, everywhere, I always ask for it.
If you're not in custody at the moment, alright?
Yeah, no, but I'm entitled to it.
I can't do it at the moment, alright?
Right.
Okay, if I can get it to you, I will, but I can't
Right.
at the moment, alright? Okay?
All right. We've got enough on the plate as it is, I suppose, with this. But I really appreciate your time.
You want to come round to the front and I'll give you the...
No more falling down, I'm rising now. Lost myself, but I found my fire. Turn my pain into something higher. Every fall, every scar I wear, just a sign that I made it here. No more shadows, no more fear. I hear the sound, the music's near. Take my hand, let's feel alive. Tonight we run, we touch the sky. I'm not giving in, I'm not giving in. Feel the fire, let it begin. Stronger now, yeah, I will rise. No more doubt, I own this life. Oh, whoa. I'm rising, I'm rising again. Came from the bottom, now I stand tall. Took my hits, but I took no fall. No more limits, I break the chains. Dance through the fire, I feel no pain. No more shadows, no more fear. I hear the sound, the music's near. Take my hand, let's feel alive. Tonight we run, we touch the sky. I'm not giving in, I'm not giving in. Feel the fire, let it begin. Stronger now, yeah, I will rise. No more doubt, I own this rising up, let it begin. No more chains, no more fear.